Yeah, we back with another episode, The Art of the Interception. You know what I'm gonna say, what needs to be said. But today, we got a special guest, man. The legendary, the Black Superman. He did it for the culture, man. Mr. Micheal Vick.
All day, every day.
Y'all know, man, he did a lot for us and stuff, man. You know, the Black community inspired us. Man, he set precedents that you know, was hard to accomplish, and you know, he laid a foundation for us to copy off of. So, you know, welcome, brother.
Appreciate it.
So we get right into
comfortable in here.
Nice and comfortable, you know. See,
come in.
Got the legendary Micheal Vick jersey.
The wall.
You know what I mean?
Made the wall
as it should be.
You know that's important.
So, man, Micheal Vick, I've been waiting to ask you this for the longest time, brother. I mean, I have had secret meetings with you. I mean, I pulled you to the side, begged you, pleaded with you. What is it in Micheal Vick's competitive nature? You can't slide, brother. Why can't you slide?
I mean, it was just about that extra yard, bro. You know, and you came to me on numerous occasions. Like, we had private meetings, like, oh, just slow down, get down. We need you out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like, I played baseball growing up.
Okay.
And I was a decent hitter. But when I was rounding them bases, bro, I would never slide. If I slid, I was sliding the dive slide, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So, but when I started playing ball, it was, you know, as I got older, coaches telling me, if you slide it, man, they even brought in Terry Pendleton when I was in Atlanta to teach me how to slide. But I needed that extra yard.
Yes.
Everything I ever did, you mentioned the word competitive, was about getting that extra yard. Like, I'm trying to move the chains.
Right.
I'm being greedy out there, and that was just the attitude.
Man, that's exactly how I seen it, man. Because, you know, when us as a professional, we can't change something. It's got to be something deeper, and that's what I had to ultimately accept, man. I ultimately had to accept, man, that this man is an ultimate competitor. In his natural competitive heart, it won't allow him to sit back and slide.
It didn't always lead to the right things, though.
They don't always
lead to the training room a lot. It left me in the training room.
That's why I was begging and trying to plead with him to slide, because we wanted him on the field. You know, he's awesome on the field, but when he's not on the field, he ain't as awesome. You know what I mean? So,
but I'll say this to that. Just being told that, and it even came from outside sources, the media, and then we even have family members saying, you need to slide, because everybody buying into the whole slide thing. But after a while, it had me not being able to anticipate like I wanted to. Or it took away from my feel for the game for a small fraction of my career, because I was trying to figure out that I knew what was important. Being on the field, being accountable, being there for your teammates is most important. So it was like.
So it was taking up space in your head, because everybody's saying slide. When if nobody's saying nothing, you can just do you.
I wish I would let it affect me mentally. So, like, I look at Lamar Jackson situation. At the end of the day, bro, do you.
Yeah, man, do you, man. Whatever works, right?
Pay the bills.
So, like, to me, it seems like, you know, you was a superstar pretty much your whole life, from Little League. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. High school, you was always a top tier athlete, right? Explain to me how that was growing up, you know, as a top, because I wasn't like always a top tier athlete. Yeah. Not just you, but you growing up with a brother in the same household who's also a top tier athlete and also plays quarterback.
Yeah. So
how was that dynamic growing up in the household?
So my brother, the way I learned to throw really good, consistent at throwing the football, my brother used to watch NFL, with college and NFL, every Saturday and Sunday. We spent all day in the house. But at halftime, and you know, it get cold in Virginia, we running outside, we got 5 minutes. Or, you know, we got 10 minutes for halftime, we got a 30-second commercial break. Bro, we running outside to toss the rock.
In the cold?
In the cold, just me and him. Bro, go. 10 and cut, 10 and out. Go deep, real quick. Like, he hustled, I throw it. I'm older, he throwing it to me, so my brother was naturally a running back. He learned to, like, he learned to have the ball in his hands. I learned to have the ball in my hands, but distribute it. He learned to run with it.
Mm-hmm. So he was more of a runner.
Yeah, he was never a quarterback till he got to high school.
Really?
And that's a different story. I can tell you a story about when I realized he was going to be a quarterback. But even through all that, that's where the consistency came from in my game. That's how I became one of the top quarterbacks in high school. I was ranked like number 11 in the country.
Okay.
I was not highly recruited. Thank God Virginia Tech came through. I had Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, Syracuse came.
But not the top athlete.
But it wasn't Florida State, Nebraska. So it was a little disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
But, I knew where I was headed. But, man, I was really overshadowed by a guy in high school. And it just fueled my fire so much to a point where I felt like the underdog all the way.
Yeah.
All the way.
And that's crazy you say that because people won't think that you're going through those things. And me and my son, man, all our life, man, we've been the underdog. So, I see, I feel what you was going through because, I went through that. But that make you different, make you more hungry, have a chip on the shoulder the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
I wish I always had that chip on my shoulder, even when, you have success early in the NFL, you have success early in college. And I had a chip in high school going to college because I was overshadowed by a guy. So when I got to college, I'm killing everything.
You ain't worried about that. No
focus, whatever I got to do, mental preparation, make sure I'm on top of it. Mm-hmm. It led to a Heisman Trophy candidacy. It led to a lot of opportunities and obviously a number one pick. Right. But when I got to the league, it was like, how else do you find that edge? Right. Especially when you're a number one pick and you come to a team where they're not so good and you got to build from the ground up.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna touch on that more too, man. I'm gonna touch on that more too.
I ain't going nowhere. We chilling, bro.
So, so you grew up in Virginia, right? A lot of people, if y'all don't know, he grew up in Virginia, where Allen Iverson grew up. If y'all don't know AI, shout out to AI. So, a lot of us, our culture, we seen the documentary with AI and the things he went through in the bowling alley, and we're wondering, the Vick family, did y'all ever have to go through some of those experiences, racism, or being that Virginia is the state that it is, man? How was it for y'all?
Virginia is a Commonwealth state, I will say, and the Baton laws, they are what they are. Mm-hmm. What the situation I went through, it was just so new, and then you got somebody who's going through, who's high profile, right, and it's viewed different, and I think a lot of people was at a point in a space where they really didn't understand it. It really wasn't no laws to back up what I was doing or what I was even.
But not this obvious situation that everybody knows about. Other situations. You know what I mean?
I had people in my corner.
Injustice.
I can't. Like I said, it was just so new, and it was high profile. So now everybody you got some people chomping at the bit. You got some people trying to protect me. And the people who was trying to protect me, you would not believe who they were. Right. You will believe it. Uh-huh. Very influential people, but you had, that, small group.
People that wasn't our color?
That
was trying to help.
I mean, that just was like, bro. And it changed a lot in terms of dogfighting laws. Right. A lot of people found out a lot about themselves. I found out a lot about me in that process, man. And, glad that I was able to come away with it on the side where I had a lot of people who supported me through it, helped me get through it. Because, I did prison time and all that behind it. Consequences of my actions. Right.
So, like you said, you talked about it, your incarceration, man. If he was incarcerated for
2 years.
2 years, and I hear you talk about it before, right? And I hear you talk about you was incarcerated, and you lied to Mr. Blank.
Yeah.
If you would have told Mr. Blank the truth when it was time when he confronted you, do you think things would have been a better situation?
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, in hindsight is always 20/20. I know, look, a lot of good came from that, especially me becoming a better person, a better man, a better individual. Right. In all areas of my life, which is needed. Mm-hmm. And as you grow, but if I would have just been in that moment, learn to be honest. Mm-hmm. I learned you don't have to tell the same lie over and over again. It got to a point where I told so many lies, bro. I was I don't even know what lie I'm telling this
Oh man,
I give up.
that had to be
And
so
it
much
started with
pressure.
him, man. And just a man who was truly in my corner and believed in me.
Right.
You know, you just never know when God gonna place people in your life that, you know, they actually there for a reason. Whether it's 30 seconds or if it is a lifetime. Like, you gotta find the good in it and what can come out of it.
See, and that's what he's explaining, the art of the interception. You don't know what life is going to bring, but you got to try to anticipate the things and intercept it to make a better situation for yourself. You know what I mean? So, you know, he didn't do right in the beginning by telling the truth, but, man, may God bless this man. I salute this man, the way he bounced back. Came from
kids,
you know, lied to his kids, you know, but he bounced back from all of that stuff, man. You know, he bounced back, became a better man, he rebuilt his life. You know, man, I ain't got nothing but respect. If you don't respect what this man did, how he came back as a black man in this world, man, you ain't nothing, man. This man is what it's about. This man is inspiring, and man, nothing but respect and salute to him.
I got kids, man. I got kids who, at some point, they started to understand the story.
Right. That's right here. I want to help the kids and everybody. I want to revisit the story. I want you to understand, like, Micheal Vick was the #1 pick in the draft. You understand what I'm saying? A black man that's barely 6 foot tall. When they looked at people that was running the ball, like, you can't play quarterback. This man was the #1 pick of the draft. He made himself the #1 pick of the draft. He was our black Superman. You know, we loved him. So with that being said, you know, we all kind of come from the same areas and stuff like that. Like, I was a 4th round pick, you know, made a couple $100,000, you know, as a rookie. But for you to come in so young as a black man, so rich, what were the main challenges you had to deal with to try to stay focused? Like you said, I heard you say
so rich.
Yeah, okay.
Because the thing is with that, and not to take away from what you're saying, it's funny when I hear that because people don't understand our contracts. And when I first got my signing bonus and I seen it wasn't what they told me. It was like, you get $3 million signing bonus taxes. And I was like, hey, yo, y'all owe me another $1 million. Like, who am I at? They like, oh, hey, son.
But check say $3 million, but it's 1.5.
Yeah, welcome to the real world.
Right.
Taxes hit. You know, now I'm revamping my whole game plan of what I'm going to do for my family.
Right.
Because I wanted to look out for everybody. And I did, but at that moment, I realized, like, the severity of understanding finances. And now I'm looking at the second phase. All right, when the next time I'm going to get paid? Or now I'm financially learning how to really bring my life along, and like, you got to take your time, you got to be patient. I'm already thinking about the second contract, and I ain't even started my first game. I'm like, all right, now I got to really bust, you know what I'm saying, really be busted to get to that point where, a couple mil really rolling in, and it's really a different level of financial security.
It's a different level, man. You know, you got wealth, man. This is a different type of wealth, man. Yeah. Rich, you know what I'm saying? But when did you sign the shoe deal? Was it at the same time, or was it like a year after being in the NFL?
4 years later.
Oh.
4 years later. So I didn't sign my shoe deal until 2004, which is an amazing contract.
Right.
Shout out to Nike because they always been there.
So that's why I want y'all to understand. This is
still repping to this day.
A lot of people, not a lot of people, but a few people may have shoes and shoe contracts, but Micheal Vick had his own shoe. Everybody knows the black Superman.
Five shoes.
Five shoes and cleats. Do y'all understand? This wasn't being tolerated back then. This man came along and put the world on notice, man.
I was gonna bring that up out of Brunga Pad.
Yeah, right.
So I can. But we working.
Next episode, he gonna bring it back. They gonna be in stores. I seen what they say after a long time after your shoe be on the rack, they give them back to you. You can do what you want.
You can always retro it. And we got a 20th anniversary coming up, so we didn't talk to doing some things, but that's all strategic.
Man, go find you a Micheal Vick shoe, man. If you ain't never had one, you're a kid, go be a part of history. Go get your Micheal Vick shoe and show, man.
Find that cleat and go rush for 1,000.
Right, that cleat that rush for 1,000. Because the Lamar Jackson y'all seeing right now, that's what we had back then. You know what I mean? Yeah. He pioneered the way to help Lamar Jackson become, who he is. You know what I mean? Salute to him. Lamar Jackson,
Shout out to
man.
Lamar.
Florida
Shout out
boy,
to
you know
Lamar,
how we
no
rock. Did you see the simulation of Lamar Jackson when they turned everything around and he was left-handed?
Nah, I didn't see it, but I can only imagine.
Bro.
I know it looks just like
Y'all
me.
look exactly alike, bro.
What's so funny?
It's crazy.
What's so funny is I was showing my son some highlights last night because my son was looking at it like, "Yo, that's you. Is that you?" He trying to figure it out. You see, look on YouTube. You see me. He look at me like, "Damn," and like, yeah, that's really me. But I'm watching. So last night I'm playing a video game. My man, I just started watching my highlights. Sometimes I dive into it, fellas. I can't even lie. I'm like lost in it too. Like, damn, I was really doing that. And then I instantly thought about Lamar. Like, this is what Lamar looking like right now.
Right.
Now I see why I enjoy watching him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But so he's kind of doing a little bit more than what you did, like breaking your records and stuff, right?
Yeah,
man.
You know, I said this on Fox a couple
But let me save you first. Like, we ain't gonna just give all the credit and take your credit away. We're gonna say, hold on. You doing that, Lamar. I gotta give my dog a little credit too. You doing that with 17 games, man. So my dog had to do it 16. So y'all, we both equal, right?
Yeah. And like I say, shout out to Lamar, but more just, and I was telling some people the other day, and I said it on Fox, like, the offenses are now gonna change. So people say, yo, I changed the game, you revolutionized the game. Okay, it was people that came, it was ones that came before me who I felt like did it. And now Lamar is like the spitting image of me and everybody. That's the comparison.
Right.
But now we're going to start seeing more of that because the offense is going to look like what they doing now. Mm-hmm. Like
they're going to adjust to people like you now. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Design runs,
quarterback
counters.
Right.
And use your ability, that opens it up for everybody else. 100%. So offense is about to change now to a point where you're going to have to study what the Baltimore Ravens and what Lamar Jackson are doing because it's only going to help you move the chains, especially on the high school collegiate level.
Ball possession. You know, now the quarterback is like almost a third, fourth running back. You know, less interception. Maintaining the ball, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? They say Lamar Jackson is like a 60% of the Ravens carries, man. So, man, he's doing his thing, man.
I ain't mad at it, man. Like, go win the game.
Right.
Find a way to win. I think the hardest part about that, Zone, before you move on, is that, you know, you just got to get everybody to buy in. Like, you know, you got top receivers that might be a number one. Like, you got a running back that might be a first-round pick, and he won't carries, and their family comes. And I kind of dealt with that a little bit. Like, you know, people, they get selfish over that ball.
Right.
But the coaches don't see that. Coaches see team and unity and, you know, making it happen as one. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, you know, everybody, you know, one person out of 11 might not agree with that. Right. He might want the ball. He might want a bigger contract, so you can't might not be able to keep these teams together. Let's say all that to say, man, let the team game be a team game. Yeah. Your coach gonna see you blocking, catching. He gonna see you running a route down the field to open it up for somebody else. Mm-hmm. You know, you used to call it a sacrificial lamb, bro. Right. Run the go route to get the cross underneath, you know. So
hear what he's saying. You know, they're not typical passes. You're not going to get the typical pass that you probably would get and get your stats all the time. When you with winners and you with people that are putting up greatness out there on the field, you have to just go with the flow. You might not get 10 catches you're used to every game, but you're going to be used to winning. So you're going to have to suck up your pride and ego sometime and say, okay, I might not get as used to as many balls as I'm used to, but we're going to have a different team than you used to. We're going to win more than you used to. You know what I mean?
Winning feels good, man.
And winning feels greater than anything. Man. When as 20, 22 men, or however many, 53 men, we go out on a journey all together, and we going to war, because it's really war out there. You know what I mean? We going to war, and we go on that plane, and we land in somebody else's city, and we go in and conquer and win. You know what kind of feeling that is? Like, you know what I mean? So we gotta sometimes just, like you say, go with the flow, man.
Go with the flow, man. You gotta just believe in one another, believe in the product,
right?
Believe in your coaches,
believe in the system, believe in the product. So right, like Mike. So you touched on it, like you said, you had a chip on your shoulder, right? from the guy that was better than you in high school, right? I had the same thing. Ryan Snyder, I don't know if you ever heard of him, man, but I played quarterback. I led the league, and I led the county in passing.
Yeah.
And he was a little under me, but they gave him all the pub and stuff. So we ended up both going to UCF, though.
Yeah. He pushed.
He pushed that chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
So you had that chip on your shoulder. Like you say, you the number 1 draft pick at Atlanta Falcons, right? Now, you like, shit, what else I got to try to be better than? I made it, you know what I mean? So now my question is to you. When you drafted to the Atlanta Falcons, right, and you take this thing serious from the day one, do you think you could have been one of the greatest ever?
Absolutely. Rest in peace to my late great Dan Reeves, my first head coach who drafted me. He really understood how to use me. He drafted me. He coached John Elway for years. And through John Elway, he learned how to use a mobile quarterback. Because John could throw it, but he could also run a hip move the chains for those who haven't seen John Elway. Google him. He's like one of the greatest top 5 of all time. And so I idolized him a little bit.
Right.
And this man actually drafted me. So when he drafted me, that second year when we beat Green Bay on the road, I was like, I could do this for a long time with him. Like he really understand how to use me. Like I said, he was doing quarterback sweeps. A lot of the highlights
before that was happening back then. Yeah.
And so like he put all that in me and helped me understand like what the offense could be and where I could potentially go. But if I would have had him for at least 5 to 6 years, I probably would have got a Super Bowl early because he demanded that I prepare hard and like I knew like 3 technique, 1 technique. I knew if it was an under defense or over defense, like what coverage I was gonna get.
Right.
And these was things that
so he knew how to teach you better than him.
Yeah. So going after my 3rd year, they fired Dan, and now we got coaches who come from the West Coast system. So now I got to start all over and learn the whole West Coast system, which is strictly pass, but short game, quick game, use the backs, push it downfield a little bit. Most important, you got to learn your protections. And so my coach came in with a different like attitude, and I had to start all over and learn it. And now in my 4th year, I just signed the deal. At that point, I worked towards the deal, but it was just so a different type of pressure. So now I'm not in the same offense. I'm in a different offense, and I got to prove to them that I'm worthy. So I kind of had a little mental lapse. I was doing everything that I could to move the chains, win games. We made the NFC Championship game that year. We lost to the Eagles. But if I'd have had Dan, I think consistently, it would have been a different level of teaching.
See, that's a good teaching lesson. Like, 'cause I like to have a different perspective. Like you said, he said Dan left and a new coach came.
Coach came in.
Right? So when a new coach come in, they have a boss too. So they're trying to prove something to their boss along with bringing you aside. So Mike is trying to prove something to this boss when this boss is trying to prove something to this boss. And he might not be proving it what he want to see. But the whole time, if he just stay real to himself and understand that he's doing everything he need to do, things play out different. So sometimes we get caught up and we just have to learn how to learn for ourselves. We can't just get caught up and just believe everything we hear and believe everything we see. Like I say, that's my motto. Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. And go learn for yourself. What better is to go learn for yourself? That's the best way. You know what I mean? So like you said, you was incarcerated for a couple years, right? And that's all my friends, everybody I grew up with is incarcerated. I hear a lot of stories. What kept you motivated, or who kept you motivated, or kept you sane, so you know that when I come out, I got goals to accomplish, that I gotta try to get back in the league, I gotta do something, Yeah, for the wife.
Like, I never sugarcoated like that. It wasn't my world. It wasn't where I intended to end up. Like, you grow up doing certain things, like, it's a chance I might end up. And as I got into doing the little, crazy things that I got into, I was like, oh yeah, that's a possibility, but you got so much money. You're like, man, man, that ain't happening to me.
Right.
If it do happen, I'll find my way out of it. So when it actually hit and it was reality, it's like, now I'm culture shocked. I'm thrown in a place where I'm like claustrophobic my first couple hours. I had to get in there and just put the pillow over my head just to, just like I had to black out for a minute.
Right.
It's a different mental space, get on the phone with her and I'm
keep it calm.
Like, I ain't
give you hope.
I'm morale down. It's all the way down.
Mm-hmm. Give you hope.
She's like, yo, your head up, strong, get yourself together, boom, boom. And I was in a situation where I had a phone in my cell in the beginning, and it wasn't easy access, but I could talk.
Right.
And thank God for that because he helped me keep my sanity.
Yeah.
And just leading her, just like, pepping me up, cheering up every day for 2 weeks. Like the first 2 weeks, that shit hurt, man. Like it hurt really bad. It hurt really bad because, man, you can't go from having everything in life that you work for, and earn, to not having nothing. But 3 meals a day, a pen, a pad, the Bible. I did have a little TV with like 4 stations.
That's a lot. That's a lot, right?
It helped me ride it out a little bit. It helped me ride this for the first 30 days before I went to Leavenworth. And so right then and there was when I got callous to everything. She built me up because I was weak, dog. And I had to, like, every day get stronger. Because I knew I was about to go to and be around like 500-600 dudes every day.
Medium count?
Low camp.
Okay.
Yeah, don't send me to no meeting.
That's what I'm saying.
I called her like,
they're really doing you wrong, boy.
I think I'm gonna try to bail out of here. This ain't gonna work. But I remember the story when I first pulled up. Like, when I first pulled up to Leavenworth, they pulled up to the big house. Big man, hold on, man, they done set me up, bro. They done lied to me, man.
Damn.
They sent me to the big house. I'm like, they ain't sending me to no camp low. I'm looking at it. Damn, man, I gotta try to let me get myself together. I'm thinking about all the pep talks from Kiara. Right. And they was like, when I walked in, they was like, nah, you ain't going in there, you going down here. And I'm like, thank God. I'm like, bro, that would have been the last straw for me because, mind you, like, bro, it's just it's a culture shock, and it's not a place for
you'd have had to adapt, man.
It's not a place for like people like myself.
Right.
Thank God I had, tons of people when I got there who supported me, understood the situation.
Yeah, that's what I mean too.
Let's find a way to get through this and rehabilitate you. The best thing out of that whole situation was that I was able to grow as a person.
Right.
Found out a lot about myself, and really had a chance to digest what I want my life to be like when I come out of it. So I had a chance to blueprint and knock out everything. And when I came out, it was like, boom, 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 everything. The goals I set
fell in place.
But I wouldn't have got through without her, man. Like, hands down.
So you hear, man. Y'all hear, man. We grow up. Some of us are fathers. We don't know how to treat women. We look down on women. Man, behind every real ninja is a great woman. You better believe that. 100%. Yeah, y'all want to dog women out and don't settle down, know how you. Behind every real ninja is a great woman. You better believe that. Go get you somebody and sit yourself down now. So you heard that. Without Kiafa, our family friend, we know it. Without Kiafa, man, it's probably be a different situation with him, man. He probably be at Home Depot or something, picking up boxes or something. You know what I mean? But sure. You know what I mean? So we all good. So now, you get out and you with the Eagles. You're on the Eagles, right? And you meet this guy named Asante Samuel. And you just hear his mouth all day, every day in practice. And he can't shut up, man. I'm like, I did not know dude was like that. Like, instantly, I'm like, I see why he one of the best in the game. Like, that's what you pay for. That's what you want right there. Right. Because he don't understand, like, I'm talking trash because I'm putting a target on my back. I'm coming to practice because I want to practice my hardest. I want somebody to challenge me. So I know if I'm talking trash to them in the offense, I know I'm putting a target on my back every day. I got to come show up. And that's just what it did. They'll tell you, they used to be in office and meetings preparing in practice for me. We played the Giants on Sunday. The hell y'all running routes to beat me for? Y'all need to get rid of the Giants. But that's how it is when you know you the GOAT and you know you unstoppable, your confidence is there. Yeah, you put that back. You put that
competitive spirit.
You know what I mean? You put that target on your back, man, and you stand up. That's what a leader does. You show everybody else by example how I'm coming, how I'm rocking. I can't be stopped, and everybody knows. It's going down. So you know what I mean?
So the fun part about practice, like I learned with Philadelphia, like you gotta practice hard. Like we practiced to win. We practiced like it was the game. It brought out the best in everybody though.
Right. That's the whole point of it. You know what I mean?
Everybody was hungry.
And then Mike could tell you, like, if I come to practice one day, I'm not feeling good or whatever, I don't want to talk today. I just don't want to talk. Right. Everybody's like, what's going on? Is Asante all right? Hey, we need you. Come on, man, say something. They think something is going on, something ain't right, but you know, that's just used to that energy, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, you might be down, you can't bring the same energy, but you know, for the most part, you know what I mean? So, yeah, now, so now, like I said, you get to the Eagles, right? Did you know you was gonna be to the Eagles before you got out?
Nah, that came as a shock.
That came as a shock?
That came as a shock.
Was anybody else?
Like, she did not believe it. Like, me and her was going through some things at the time, and you know, she was back home in Philadelphia, and I called her like, Philly, I think I might get signed to the Eagles. She said, boy, bye. Hung up the phone. I'm like, yo, this is not a game. This is not a game. It's an Amber Alert. Hey, listen, I need your help. And I still didn't believe it because there was a couple other teams out there that was very interested. There was the Bengals at the time. They had Carson Palmer. And then Buffalo, they had, I want to say Rob Johnson or somebody at quarterback. And I'm like, I can understand the situation with the Bengals and not going there, or going there and being a backup. But if I go to Buffalo, I want to start. I think the whole thing with me is you got to ease your way back into it. So when Andy called, my agent called me and he was like, I think Philly want to sign you. I'm like, Philly? I'm like, they got Kevin Cobb, Donovan, I'm going to be number 300. I'm never going to play.
Right.
And long story short, man, it actually ended up happening. And they called me, and that's when I showed up that day. And thank God Kiapa assisted me on that visit, you know, because, you know, I was able to learn a lot about the city in like a day. And then I ended up signing. And, you know, thank God that signing saved my life in so many ways. Because, bro,
I'm so happy I was there to witness
everything, man. This was post-incarceration, so I was still trying to get myself together. Yeah, bankruptcy, trying to get my mind right. I'm still like straddling the fence in a lot of areas of my life, and just trying to find out like what's most important. Like I said, it was so many people. Like Andy was so important.
Oh man, shout out to Andy Reid, man, and Mr. Lord, and I got to shout out Andy boy Rick Buckhalter, man. Yeah, they good people, man. Good people. They care about you and your family. That's what I talk about, man. When I'm going off on other people and coaches, man, if we all men first, you care about my family first. You want me to go out here and go to war with you, boy? And you acting crazy and treat me like, boy, but I'm a man first. You better understand that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what most of these coaches need to get. Like, we men first. We not no walk around this piece of meat, just pick up and say, come here.
You talking about family real quick. The fact that Kiapa was from Philadelphia, her family was there, we got a chance to be there, and she got a chance to be with her family, like after years of sacrifice of her life, and follow me around on my journey. To be there, like I met like so many, like I had the chance to get to know her family. Man,
that was a blessing from God right there, man. That was a blessing to put that together, man. Absolutely. Yeah, man, Philly was definitely an awesome time. But like I say, man, you came to Philly. Before you come to Philly, I'm witnessing. I'm hearing everything. Mike Vick. Oh man, I'm about to get to meet Mike Vick, the Black Superman. I'm excited. I hear Donovan McNabb cheering on Mike Vick. We want Mike Vick. Yeah, bring Mike Vick. We can help him out, this and that. So everybody want Mike Vick there. Even McNabb. He's saying he want Mike Vick there, right? But I don't think McNabb realized that this is still Mike Vick. Mike Vick gonna come here. When he get here, he's going to be pushing you for your playing time. They might be cutting out some of your snaps. So when we get there, that's starting to happen. And this is me witnessing it. He don't have to say it. I witnessed this with my own eyes. You know, I want to see Micheal Vick on the field. This is Mike Vick. I know he could help us. So Mike Vick come on the field. McNabb is running off the field, and he's doing this to Andy. He's like, cut. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. But no, to his defense, you know what I mean? I get it. You're a quarterback. You're in rhythm. You know what I mean? So if you playing 2 downs and then you got to come out 3rd down, it's kind of throwing your rhythm off, this and that. But my whole point is, man, you got to watch what you ask for in life. You know what I mean? You mean good, but, I dealt with similar situations when, they brought in different corners. They brought in Numby. And then, look, I'm the odd man out. So how did that make you feel when you experienced that? He asked you to come here, and then you see, like, he pushing for playing time, and he's kind of fighting against him, man. How did that make
I'll say this. I do understand how it can affect the quarterback's rhythm, because
100%.
Dan Reeves one time was rotating me and Doug Johnson my rookie year in and out, and it was like, bro, you put me in on 2nd down, him on 3rd down, and we punt. And I'm back on 1st down, he in on 2nd down, and I'm on 3rd down. I'm like, I can't get a feel for the game, so I understood that part. But I was just trying to fulfill my role.
Right.
Andy, even at that time, was trying to incorporate the running part of it, similar to what Lamar is doing now.
Right.
He was at that stage in 2009, which I think is incredible. It's super dope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Donovan wanted that rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And, you never know what a quarterback really needs. Like,
right.
When he's in the moment, what makes him go.
Right.
What gives him that, like that instant comfort level. Because it's a comfort level you got to have. It's a rhythm you got to be in. So
It's like
I get that part.
else.
But it got to a point where I started to get uncomfortable with the play calls that was being called for me, because I knew Donovan wasn't comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, he'll tell you, like, it really wasn't his cup of tea. I think he expected me to just be the backup if something happened to him and went down. But it's like, ain't a couple 1st downs that year and kept the chains moving on at certain times, and I know he would appreciate that.
Right.
And I'm happy Andy called those plays, still had the guts to put me in.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan was the coach. Andy was the coach, and he put me in the game and let me rock out. So, coach took me by the reins and said, look, y'all got to be professionals, and Donovan had to be a pro.
Man, like I say, once again, shout out to you, Andy Reid, man.
Shout out to Donovan too. That's my
shout out to
brother,
Donovan, man. That's our people too. But Andy Reid, man, you saved this brother, man. You helped him rebuild his life, man. We can never forget you as a community. We would never. You are forever blessed for that, brother, man. Thank you, man.
One of the greatest people on this earth, man.
For sure.
You think when I talk about the people who helped me in a lot of ways in life, like coaches just call me to the office just to talk.
Yeah.
Like, yo, let's just chop it up, sit across from me. Mm-hmm. And what's on your mind? What's going on? How your family doing? You save your money? Mm-hmm. What kind of adjustments you got? Like,
that's the type of person you want to play for.
It's like, we ain't always talking football. Then he'll text me at night and he'll send me 5 or 6 plays. What you think about this?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
making you feel involved. Not like you just some type of puppet.
Coach was...
you the GOAT, Andy.
Coach was the rock, man, in my life, man. Because I went through some tough times in Philly. Right. Dealing with family and losing family members. Yeah. And I'll never forget the one time lost a significant family member, and it was like I was burnt out. I ain't had nothing left. You know what I'm saying? Like I came home from the hospital. I laid on the couch and I just cried. I held it in. I cried. Held it in. Let it all out. I'm having a moment, and my phone rang, and it's Coach. And when I pick up the phone, I'm like, what's up, dude? I'm like, I ain't got nothing left. He already know. And within 10 minutes, this man had me on the phone crying, laughing, just telling me stories and telling jokes, and just had a way that just
took
bring
you right
me back to life, man. I'm like, he's a special man. So I said all that to say, like, people can certainly change people's feelings, emotions all in the moment.
Right. Well, see, that's it. Like, the art of interception. Andy Reid understood what type of situation he was getting himself in. he understood this man was incarcerated. I'm not sure if his children was incarcerated before or after Micheal Vick, but he experienced the same thing. So you see, he know what he was dealing with. So he anticipated getting him and having to deal with this and turning this into a success. Man, that is one of the greatest art of interception stories ever right there, man. The way you did that, Andy, man. You anticipated that thing and made that happen. I can't thank you enough, Andy Reid, baby. Make sure you hear me. Clap if you hear me, Andy. So let me switch subjects a little bit, man. Shout out to Dion, man. Prime time, Coach Prime, man.
Prime.
So Shador Sanders, man. We hear Jackson State. You know what I mean? Put them on the map. I heard you before talk about the release of his ball and how pretty it was, and it's pretty. And I see it. He sits in the pocket. He looks so composed. You know, he looked like he can compete on the next level at a high level. And I seen Dion put up a post, and he talked about when you talk about the Heismans, don't forget to talk about his son, Shador Sanders. And right now he has 1,351 passing yards. He has 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he has a 75.5 completion percentage, right? So, right, to the critics, right, you're going to say he's playing against lower competition. You're going to say this and that. Listen, when you're playing with competition versus lower competition, it's all the same. So, if you can complete 75% of your balls against kids, what's going to happen when you get against adults? Ball is ball. So don't underrate, don't try to underestimate, don't try to X him out. Like he said, that boy is pure passer. He do his thing. We're going to let the expert quarterback fulfill and talk about it.
When I first talked to Dion a couple of weeks ago, when I went to their practice, and first I seen his ball, and I was like, who's that throwing the ball like that? So I'm coming in with not a lot of knowledge on Jackson State and the team, where they at, with it, the trajectory. And so I'm like, what's that? That's my son. And so it started to sink in, and I'm like, man, he threw a beautiful ball. The most important, he played the game from the neck up. I'm like, that instantly said something. He was like, he worked with that man on the wall right there. He worked with Tom Brady, working with some guys on the low, and I'm like, let me just watch this practice and see how he distribute his ball. Watching him, so he going to all the right spots, making checks. Okay, he really got it. So I'm like, that only tells one story. Practice tells a story. I trust Dion because I even had questions I had to ask Dion about my son and him growing up, and like, what I need to do. How you get him to a point where like his mindset is like ours, destroy everything. And he was like, he told me some tips. He told me what to do, and I'm certainly gonna follow on. Because Dion is a mentor.
There you go.
So I'm like, watch him the next day and just see how this all transpired. I think he threw only like 3 incomplete passes. He was like 20 for 23. Like he played the game from the neck up. He make all the right decisions. This guy's gonna be a first round pick. Because, like you say, regardless of the competition, it don't matter. If you completing that passes at a rate that high,
right?
They want to know how is that happening and what, talk to the coordinator, how you getting this done. And I just seen a complete player, man, who's one of the best in the country, definitely in the top 5, and should be considered a Heisman Trophy candidate at some point.
100%. Like you said, Steve McNair, rest in peace. Steve McNair, man, was a Heisman Trophy candidate. I don't know if he won it or not. I think he might have been a candidate or not, but came from Alcorn State. Same type of situation, man. So don't overlook the young man, Shador Sanders, man. He doing great things, man. Yeah,
young too. So he got a chance.
Year or something like that.
Yeah, this year can be.
How tall is he?
He like 6'2".
6'2". Good size. Good size.
So this year could be the year that can just kind of like bridge the gap and just get his name out there. And next year, maybe a different barrier will be set.
Yes, Dion doing his thing with Jackson State. And I think he's like a Division I AA or something like that. It ain't no D2. You know what I mean?
He play against decent competition.
So, like you say, man, Dion, you got a great point, brother. Keep fighting for your seeds, man. That's what we here for. We're going to fight for our seeds. We're going to fight to the end for our seeds. That's how we coming. If you don't rock like that for your kids, boy, I don't know what to say about you, boy.
Ball is ball.
You know what I mean? Ball is ball. So now, here we go, man. We talk about the harsh reality is us as black men, we have to do, we all get in trouble. We all do things wrong. It's all about who gonna get caught and when get caught. So, you know, they put a situation on our friend, my dog, my family member, and he dealt with harsh punishment, harsh reality, right? Now we got Brett Favre over here in one of the poorest cities in America, if I'm correct, Mississippi. And you got a $5 million swindle going on for some volleyball stadium at a college. And this thing is getting swept under the rug. The man who was over it has already been indicted or pled guilty to whatever already. And you ain't even hear about this stuff. You got two quarterbacks, one white, one black. One got to do 2 years, and one you still ain't hearing nothing about this mess. Why is it like that? Why do we have to go through that, and why is it so easy the other way around? How do you feel about that, man? How does that make you feel, man?
Man, it's just such an unfortunate situation for a lot of people who just lost out.
It's lost out.
And it's lost out. Like,
that's
whatever
welfare
they was
money,
fighting for, or whatever they was after, I'm pretty sure that, you know, it could have been, that money could have been made in different ways, or it could have been structured a different way. Mm-hmm. But when you talking about people who like, really be like starving, I don't think people understand. Like some people, like how we come up, like we really starve some nights. Like we really don't, bellies don't get full.
You know what I
mean? We rely on that.
Cheese.
Well, my mom relied on that.
You know what I mean?
Like for a certain amount of years of my life, and you know, for them to like find ways to take that, like, tangle that, you know, just make that a thing where they, you know, took from people, you know, who because I mean, when you do that, you don't understand that life and what people going through. Because if you understand what people got to deal with, how they struggle, how they suffer, what it's like to grow up in the ghetto, what it's like to grow up in poverty. If you knew better, you would do better. You wouldn't even don't even do that. See, that's like, no, hell no, I'm not taking, no, hold on, get that to them. Right. Let's go and find another route to make this happen, to build a stadium, and where you can pay me a certain amount of money to speak on why I'm doing this and why I chose not to do that and why this is going to serve the underprivileged.
See, and that's a good point because, you know, a lot of those people in those high positions, they have no clue what we go through. They have no clue the way we live. They have no clue about struggle. They just live in their life, their whole life. All they seen was the great and the finer things of life. All they seen is they have a death in the family. Guess what? They go to therapy. Guess what we do? We got to thug it out. We don't know what a damn therapist is. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different time. It's a different life. But, man, we just want to all be treated equal, man, at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? If he in trouble for something, it's harsh punishment. Other people get in trouble for something for harsh punishment. They don't get in trouble, and he shouldn't get in trouble. It's all the same caliber, man. So that's all, man. I hate that my brother had to go through that. But like you said, he probably needed that, and God knows what's best, you know, to make him a better man. And here he is today.
The situation was more so about money. In a situation like that, I probably would have never went to prison. But I probably would.
Probably would. They would have said welfare money. This man taking welfare money, he got this and that. They would have spent that narrative and made it all terrible, man.
When you got people that's underserved and less privileged involved, then that's really like on a different level.
Right.
Like it's on a different level, and it's definitely
find a way to fix that. Because that's our people up there in Mississippi, and they struggling. They ain't got water. They one of the poorest cities in America. They just need help. They need your help, man. They just need help, man. So
give them that $5 million.
That $5 million. Give them 10.
If you got it, let's divvy it up.
You got it. Little interest.
$2,000 apiece.
So have a little fun with you real quick now. Top 5 strongest arms quarterback ever.
Okay.
You put
me,
yourself
I'm gonna go number 1.
Okay.
Gotta put myself number 1.
Yeah.
I'm in the top 5
for sure.
Brett Favre.
Woo.
John Elway.
We're
talking about cannons.
Slang that thing. I was thinking about a sleeper, Jamarcus Russell. I think I seen him throw one time. I don't know how far he can go.
Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick.
He got a
strong arm.
Really?
Yes, I'm talking. He got a strong arm.
That's 4.
Wow, this is a really good question. Like, who else? Like, and then Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. The way Aaron Rodgers is so impressive. The way Aaron Rodgers can be right here running that way, and flicking it, go like 70 yards. Like, I don't know how much you've been keeping up with the draft, but I was watching this game and I was like, man, I'm gonna ask Mike Vick about this guy. I'm gonna ask him about his. Do you have any sleeper quarterbacks in the draft? Because I got one that I've been.
This year?
Yeah, and he reminded me of you. I want to see if you who your sleeper.
I was really liking the kid. I really like the kid from Florida. I just think he got to get more consistent.
He's running good too, right? Was number 15?
Number 15. He's playing consistent. I like him to hook.
Let me give you one.
Go ahead. Let me get it.
Right here. I think it's his first name. I want to show. Michael Pickens Jr. He played for Washington.
University of Washington.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
They just beat, I think, Michigan State.
They did. I think I seen the other day, but I didn't tune into the game.
Man, that boy.
So I got to check him out.
Yeah, you got to check him out. He's going to sneak up the ranks real fast, boy. He's going to be up there, you know what I mean? Through all the little situations, you know, he black and all, you know what I mean? Left-handed. So I think he transferred from Stanford. Somewhere he transferred. Don't quote me. Don't make me be wrong. All right, now we got the last question of the day, man. So we're right here. We in the hurricane. My brother came through in the hurricane. We ain't got nothing
right down the road.
Right down the road. You know, come have some tea, some coffee.
Absolutely.
What was your first experience in the hurricane since you've been living down here, brother? How was that? Or do you just get the hell up out of here?
We always got up out of here.
Yeah.
And then, so this is my first year, like, really being like
I ain't scared.
Trust the process.
I'm gonna trust the process.
I ain't tripping. Like, I feel like I got a community of people now I can reach out to. Like, if our lights go out, we might end up over here. If our lights go out together, we end up over there. Like, we gonna ride it out. You know what I'm saying?
You go.
Friends and family.
So there you go, brother. The legend himself, Mike Vick. And we here. His first year live in the hurricane. We here. This is the art of interception, baby. I will say what needs to be said. Salute.
Thanks, man.